We've got a Christmas present for everyone out there, for kids from 1 to 92. Johnny Unitas and the Colts going up against Chuck Bednarik, Norm Van Brocklin, and the Eagles. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann on the call from the Big Horseshoe. Gentlemen, it's all yours.
Thank you, Chris. This is the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, where a crowd of 45,000 will see an interconference matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Indianapolis Colts. The Philadelphia story is the tale of two seasons. The euphoria of a 4-0 start, followed by the pain of a crippling string of injuries that sent the Eagles reeling to losses in 8 of their last 9.
You have to go through tough times. You can't predict when they're going to hit. But that's when you measure pride, professionalism, and leadership.
There's one thing that we formed through all of that was a way of always fighting and a way of always competing.
No matter the record, the Eagles always fight the good fight and fight to the end.
When you have character and you guys who play with a tremendous amount of intensity and pride and who never quit. Coaches, that's the one thing that money can't buy, and that's what we have.
Welcome to the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis for the 5-8 Eagles against the 4-9 Colts. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. It's great to have you with us. Coming off a 9-7 season and then spending $18 million for free agents, this has to be the most disappointing season for the Colts since they moved to Indianapolis. And the most disappointing thing might be the offense that can't find the end zone. 7 of 13 games this year. Offense hasn't scored a touchdown, including the last 4, something Ted Marchibroda would love to turn around.
He really would, Mike, but you have to understand that a lot of times records don't indicate how good or bad a team is in this league. For example, the Colts probably weren't as good as their 9-7 last year, and they're certainly not as bad or as bad as their 4-9 this year. Now, what Coach Marchibroda told his team is, listen, forget about the first 13 games. Let's concentrate and win these last 3. To do that, they're going to have to score points. They certainly have the quarterback to do it, and they're going to have to get some big plays out of people like Sean Dawkins and Rosie Potts.
The Eagles are going to remember this as the season that might have been. A rash of injuries turned a 4-0 start into a 5-8 record. Now, mathematically, they're still alive for the playoffs, but Rich Kotite says, yeah, we might win the lottery, too. But the one thing you know about the Eagles, they have respect around the league because when you line up against Philadelphia, it's a 60-minute war.
And that starts with the head coach. Rich Kotite in his 3 seasons has done an absolutely great job. He's kept a positive attitude. His team, week in and week out, gives its best efforts. A prime example of that is Herschel Walker. Here's a guy who's gone out and been a very effective runner, been an excellent blocker from the fullback position, played special teams, return kicks, and leads all NFC running backs in receiving. Herschel Walker's unselfish attitude has really been indicative of what the 93 Eagles are all about.
Here's Rich Kotite, 7 games over 500 in his 3rd year as head coach. He has managed to do it with 7 different quarterbacks. Ted Marchibroda in his 2nd tour as the Colts head coach. He is number 3 in wins in team history, only behind Don Shula and Weeb Eubank. Colts have won the toss. They'll receive to start the ball game. Crowd of about 45,000 on hand here in Indianapolis tonight. And Roger Ruzek back for his 2nd tour this year. Cut in favor of Matt Barr, who missed a couple of field goals a week ago, including a 45-yarder with a gale at his back that could have tied up the ball game.
Yeah, but then he goes to New England, Mike, and he kicks 2 up there and allows the Patriots to win over the Cleveland Browns today. How can you figure it?
It's been a strange year for kickers. Rodney Culver, number 35. Clarence Verdun, number 83. Deep to receive. stand from the 1-yard line. Stop short of the 20. There's a flag on the play thrown back at the 13-yard line. And this will go against the Colts. It's a clip.
There's a flag on the play.
Personal foul, low block, number 44 on the return, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Colts offense, Jeff George has always had the arm and the quick release. Now he's reading better and has only 6 interceptions this year. Reggie Langhorne having a career season among the leaders in the AFC in both catches and yards. He has a shot at a 1,000-yard season. The Colts upgraded their line with free agent center Kirk Loudermilk, a good pass blocker. He is excellent on the run. Potts, the single setback behind George. 1st and 10 from the 8. In the flat, complete to Langhorne, and he's got a first down at the 21-yard line. Philadelphia defense, Andy Harmon has gone from backup defensive end 2 years ago to starting tackle. He leads the club in sacks with 7.5. Seth Joyner makes all the routine plays, then the big ones. He leads Philadelphia in tackles with 88. Eric Allen has been to 3 Pro Bowls in the last 5 years, tied for 4th in the conference with 4 interceptions. Clyde Simmons, the numbers not nearly what they were a year ago, but that's because of the supporting cast he has with him up front. Hot, straight ahead. Across the 25 to about the 26. And this is what both teams have not been able to do, stop the run, and the one thing the Colts haven't been able to do on offense, and that's run it.
Mike, when we went to Tokyo to do the Philadelphia Eagle game way back in the beginning of the season, Bud Carson told us that his football team could not stop the run. And he knew it then that they'd have a problem, and he's been a real magician trying to get it done with the injuries up front and the losses of the personnel they had.
The last 3 weeks, it's gotten a little bit better because of the addition of William Perry. Gives him some size, and then anybody can't move. He's out of there right now. Millard in, number 77. Draw to Potts, and Simmons right there. Evans finishes up. Simmons all the way from his right defensive end spot, chasing down the big rookie from the Colts.
Big Clyde has been bothered by a knee for the last 5 weeks. Last week, he finally said it felt better. Bud Carson was really pleased with the way he was playing. Expects him to have a good night tonight. 6'6", 280. Not the biggest of defensive ends, but certainly guy who's been to the Pro Bowl, had 19 sacks a year ago. Can certainly make his presence felt.
Only has 3 this year. 3rd down, George to throw. Here comes the blitz, unloads, and it's incomplete. Langhorne would have had a first down if he could catch the football. Ben Smith, the closest man to him on coverage, but again, a catchable ball.
And I think this is the difference between the teams that have 4 wins and the teams that have 10 wins. It's plays. George does an excellent job of reading it. It's man-to-man coverage. He fires it out. I do believe that Langhorne probably got distracted a little bit by the umpire standing in the middle, but still, when you're open, you got to make a play.
Vi Sikahema wearing the shades indoors. Number 10 in the conference this year. Not a banner season for him. One of the great return men of all time. Takes it at the 24 and gets it back to the 34-yard line. The tackle made by Ray Buchanan down on special teams. Back in a moment. Colts had the ball for the opening possession of the game, had to punt it away. Now it's the Eagles' turn near their own 35-yard line. Randall Cunningham not cleared medically to play this weekend. Bobby Brister is in. Cunningham will sit out the rest of the year. Herschel Walker, the deep man in the eye, and they throw to him. And Walker brought down at the line of scrimmage. Belser, nice tackle. Take a look at the Eagles' offense. Brister has played some of the best football of his career for the Eagles. 7 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions. Herschel Walker averaging 4.5 yards a carry. He's not only the club's leading rusher, but the leading receiver, too. First-round draft choice Lester Holmes has provided a lot of help up front and made the right side of the line a force.